Just got home. I'm still trying to figure out how to juggle this 2-school run because there's half an hour distance between the 2 schools. So I'm trying to figure out this whole issue. It's something that I've spoken about in the past where I've been trying to figure out how to juggle work and the responsibility of school run. I've literally sort out every route that I can. I've contacted different government groups, I've contacted schools, there's a dad's group that I'm involved with, which is great. It's literally the only dad's group that I know of in the area, and it's a really great group where dads can go and do activities with their kids. I've even gone as far as reaching out to mums groups, but they haven't been able to figure it out either. And I feel like I just wanted to talk today about the lack of support that dads do get. I feel like we get a lot less support. There's a lot less government and council run programs for us. I don't think there's even really privately run single dads groups like there are single mums in my area, at least. But I think this is an issue that's a bit of a worldwide issue, and I think it's partly because men are bad at speaking up and asking for help. Would love some more help for me and my kind. But I think it's also partly because society generally assumes that the mum is the better child carer, and so most of the help and funding goes more so towards the mums, and because there are a lot more single mums than there are single dads as well. And I think it's changing a bit more. Men are wanting to be a lot more involved in their children's lives than they traditionally were. Traditionally, men were the providers and that was their role, but more and more men like myself want to be really hands-on with their kids. They find joy in it. They find purpose in it. Something that we also need to talk about is the unrealistic expectations that are set on single mums, because I feel like you can't talk about this topic without talking about what single mums go through and why it's been so important for them to get the help. Because A, there are a lot more single mums than there are single dads. But B, I feel like there's a lot more societal pressures put on mothers in general, but especially single mums who are trying to juggle work and parental responsibilities. And society has this expectation of mums being perfect, devoting absolutely all of their time to their children and getting everything 100% right. And when they don't, they get judged and gossiped about. It's like the double standard of, imagine a single mum sends their child to school with a crinkled school uniform and their hair sort of a bit all over the place. People are gonna be talking negatively about that mum. That mum's gonna feel like absolute crap. Whereas if a single dad was to do the exact same, the standard would be completely different. People would be talking like, well, at least he's giving it a go. At least he's doing his best. And I feel like me personally, I get praised for doing things that I don't deserve the praise for. These are just things that are my God-given responsibility to do my best to be a dad. Like, I learned how to do hair because I didn't want my girls to have to go to school with their hair all messed up. And people give me a lot of praise for that. And it's like, that's just my job. I take great care of my kids. I do a lot of activities with them. I'm hands-on. But the truth is, if I was a single mom, a lot of people would just be like, well, that's your job. Whereas as a single man, I get a lot more praise than I deserve for doing the right thing. And I really want to acknowledge that, because single mums, they don't get the praise that they deserve, but they get the judgment that they don't deserve, even if they are doing their best. The flip side of that is, I think a lot of people assume that men have no idea what they're doing with child rearing. And sometimes I feel like when I'm around people who don't know me, who don't know what a great dad I am, I feel like I'm getting this judgment of them thinking I'm a dad, I probably don't know what I'm doing, I'm a buffoon, and I feel like I'm having to prove myself as a parent to people all the time to show that, hey, I'm not that stereotypical crap dad. I'm actually a really good dad. And that can be a lot to take on. And I feel like a lot of men constantly feel that. We constantly feel like we're being judged as being, subpar parents based on our sex. We have to do a bit extra to really prove that we are in fact good parents. I even think about some of the stereotypes that I'm guilty of judging other men on as well. Like, I don't ask other parents if their kids can come to my house for play dates unless I know them well enough that the parent is coming to my house as well, because I always think about if a single dad was to ask me, hey, can your kids come over to my house for a play date? I don't think I would be comfortable with it. Whereas if it was a single mum, I would be comfortable with it. And I'm like, why do I feel like that as well? I just wanted to chat about some of the different perceptions that society has on single mums and dads and how both of them are wrong. But I also wanted to talk about how men do need more help. We need to push our councils, we need to push the people in charge to create more groups that support single dads. Because there's a lot more men playing bigger roles in their children's lives. Not even just single dads, stay-at-home dads, period. We need a bit more help, and I think it's something that we need to start talking about a little bit more as a society and, pushing councils to get more involved in.